Sorry about that. I was muted. So what I was saying is we're back at Modlin, and I was just thinking, should we go for the decisive victory or not? I might actually not go for it, because a decisive victory here of course involves taking the actual fortress, and making a mistake taking the fortress on this map can really screw you over. I went for regular replacements on all my units, as you could see. Little bit painful, especially in some of my infantry units, which is really painful because they don't exactly gain experience all that fast. But yeah, I screwed up in the last scenario a little bit, went ahead a little bit too aggressively. Also made some tactical errors since I was super tired and super unconcentrated, so it's just the way it goes. So I'll have to pay the price for that. In terms of new units, I actually don't think I'm gonna buy anything, because I don't really know what I'd buy. Air Force looks pretty decent, I'd say. I could get another Stuka, but for now they should be good. So I don't think anything on the new units front. Decisive victory, as I said. I'm really not sure about that. Also not sure about going over strength on my artillery pieces yet. Really not sure how much would that even cost. I'm not sure. There's still too many chances to get hit, I feel. And I'm not sure I should do that on Rommel. No, I actually don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely not gonna do it on the air, in the air, because I feel there's eventually gonna be way too much anti-aircraft units. And again, on the level bombers, maybe on the level bombers, but not on anything else. Definitely not. Artillery. If anything, this would be the map where I'd want that. But that would be a whole bunch of prestige. Nah, let's do it with the standard stuff. So, I want Olidier. Do I actually want Olidier deployed? Where is he even? This is Olidier, right? Yeah, that's Olidier. Well, let me deploy some standard units here. Where I want them. I guess I want the ability to fire. On the city twice, I guess. And maybe my pioneers can storm the city, and my Krautschützen can maybe rush forward already in this direction, and my normal infantry can march into town. You have my tanks. I guess I want one group of tanks up here. The other one can potentially go down south and scout ahead. Supported by one artillery and one of my infantry, I guess. So I can deploy five more things. I kind of want a level bomber. 3. Not sure how useful the anti-aircraft gun will be on this map, to be honest. Then again, anti-tank gun won't be very useful either, so let's just deploy it. We'll see what we'll do with it. I'm actually Going to deploy all the deer and leave my... Oh no, that's SE. I can deploy that anyway, so whatever. So then I have room for 3 air units. That's gonna be my fighter. It's gonna be... Actually, I think I'm gonna deploy 2 lever bombers on this one. I think. Let me save this. And then let's just go for it. Check out what's here. Oh, nice. Okay, let me see. That is almost completely suppressed, but not entirely. Are you serious? It can't attack my Panzer 1. It could attack the Panzer 2, but I think that should go in its not in its favor, and it can't see it. It might want to try to go against the Panzer 1, which means it would try to go around. That might actually run into an ambush against our Panzer 2. If it attacks into here, I don't think that will go in its favor at all. Everything else is protected by artillery. Pioneers have pretty good heart attack. I really wanted to already rush through here, but oh well, that's not gonna happen. Okay, that down there looks pretty manageable. So maybe we'll just send the Kratschützen down south instead, and we'll go with all the deer over here. If the tankette wants to run into that, it can do that. I don't care. Otherwise, if it ends up anywhere here, then maybe I can get it with the not actually sure whether there's gonna be any... I don't think they're gonna have any bombers. I think if anything they're gonna have a couple of fighters, so... let's protect the artillery and maybe the tank. I don't think I can really trap this, but... this bomber has pretty good air defense. I don't think that's actually gonna be attacked, which... how good is their air defense actually? Yeah, that is 16 air defense. I don't think they will attack that with what they have. I think if anything they would go for the tank or the artillery. Let's protect that. If they go for my Panzer 1, then that's just gonna be that. Hi, Orin. Good evening to you too. So this is not ideal, this situation up here, but if they go for the Panzer 1, I can then definitely shoot them down next turn with the 88. So let me see how this goes out. I have really no idea whether there's even anything in the air. Oh, they didn't do anything at all. That also works. Kind of disappointing. Completely suppressed. Alright, so that's that. Alright, that should actually be rather simple. Yeah, I can't go around. Let's take a look at this stuff. Okay, that's interesting. Really wish I could have blown that out because I really want to go in there. So at least we didn't take any damage from that, but yeah, this is annoying. Because I really wanted to have that hex, not leave me open and visible. Oh well. I would really like to know what's in there. I'm gonna try and go around. Interesting. What mods am I using? Swastika is the historical insignia mod. The plain recoloring is something I did myself. That's almost completely suppressed. Potentially not the best order in which I could have done this. Really wish I could have taken that guy out. But it is what it is. I quickly take care of the dog that is barking here at my room door. 1 second. Oh boy. So, let me see. What do I do with this thing? Not a whole lot, I'd say. Olidier might be able to reach that next turn. I guess that's it. Okay, they reinforced that instead of attacking with it. That's actually good. Oh, come on. Actually, the scout more useful elsewhere. Okay. Interesting. Bring that somewhere central where we can maybe use it against one of those bunkers. And you, I actually want back there. I actually had different plans for you on exactly the opposite end of the map. Maybe doesn't do anything, which is fine by me. But I could do that without anything. Well. Ah, crap. What detected me there? Is there another bunker? God damn. That puts my pioneers completely out of action. That is a little bit annoying. Ugh. Yeah, that's not exactly according to plan. This artillery is in a completely wrong place. I'm really not sure about doing this because this is horrible. Yeah, this bunker probably spotted me earlier. Now I'm short on infantry over here, that's no good. This is really annoying because I really have needed that. I could have really needed that. I'll use that. Ah! Don't even really have anything I can replace that with. But they're completely useless, so I can definitely pull them off the map. Actually, I think this is the quicker connection. Or is it? No, actually... don't have any rare connection, doesn't matter. Man, this is really annoying. gonna take forever for our normal infantry to go down here. Then again, we have a lot of turns, but still. Need to rearm our artillery before we do anything, that's for sure. That worked out. So but I guess another artillery couldn't hurt, but I really don't know. Wait, why can't I deploy them? Do I not have any deployment spots? Well, that puts a twist on things. Well, that doesn't change much either, so maybe we can deploy it next turn, but even if we can't, let's just refuel and rearm everything. Even if we can't, I don't think I would get too much use out of it anyway. That's actually the one I've waited for. I knew there was a tank down there somewhere. Nope, no deployment spots. That's no big deal. So let's see whether I can push this guy into the swamp. Nope, because he can't go into the swamp. Wait. Ugh. Not nice, not nice at all. Crap, crap, crap. Oh, come on. Bad rolls all around. Great. Oh, man. Well, we need to get these 2 units out of the way. There's no way around that. Before we have that done, nothing else matters really. Right now, I'm not really super sure on how to best do that. I'm just gonna take my time here. If I can't figure out how to do it, we'll run out of time, and that will be that. Okay. Totally forgot there was another one of those. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, seeing this already put me in danger. Now, you know what? Fuck it. There's no way to do this without taking losses that I don't want to take. They can already attack my artillery now, and if I put the tank in here now, it's... ah, god damn it. I didn't know there was a tankette down here, which basically renders this entire thing almost completely useless. Yeah, See, that's exactly what happens then. And that's, yeah. Just not... Maybe I should have brought a Stuka or something, I don't know, but this just doesn't feel good. This is, by the way, exactly as far as the Germans historically advanced, so... Yeah, then I'm already in range of that stupid gun. I mean, what if I go in here? I can be attacked by that, and potentially that. It's just... It's what, just one big suicide party. That's the thing about this. This is totally doable. I've done this several times. The problem is, if you want to do it careful and methodically, you don't have the time. You have to really rush this, and if you make the slightest mistake, you're gonna get wrecked by one of these guns. Just... I also don't think I have the necessary air force to pull this off. Can't switch it out either, since I don't have any deployment spots for whatever reason, so that modding for the exit hexes is a little bit flawed. So yeah, I don't know what the hell I would do here. I mean, sure, you could go in here, force a surrender on this gun, maybe with the scout or something, but still leaves all that other stuff. Ah, shit. Yeah, forget it. I already took way too much damage for my liking. I'm gonna halt the advance. That's it. Because now I don't even have the artillery anymore to pull this off. Yeah, I'd need more firepower. I don't have it. We have the objectives covered that we need to have. Everything else is just idiotic to try and do that. I need a Stuka now to take this thing out, and I don't have it. Oh, fuck. See, I thought I could go in there and do this and get out again, but I can't. So now if I'm really unhappy, I'm gonna lose my scout. Ah, fuck, why did I even try this? Yeah, I'm gonna lose the scout. Absolutely 100% I'm gonna lose the scout. Because there hasn't... Oh, fuck. Fuckity fuck. If that anti-tank gun is not on hold position, I'm gonna lose the scout. Come, retreat, retreat, retreat! Jesus. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck this. No way. No way in hell. That could have so easily lost me that unit. Absolutely no point in doing this whatsoever. So that's that. And that's the thing. I actually took way too many losses already, not achieving anything. This was not done ideally, especially that last move with the scout trying to take that artillery out. Completely pointless. That cost me so much prestige. But it didn't cost me any prestige because I'm going to reinforce it normally, since experience on my scouts is not very important to me anyway, but still. It could have lost me the unit. Let me put it this way. On the other units, I think I'm fine. Most of the units are good. The Panzer IIs took damage, way more damage than they should. Well, one of them took way more damage than they should have, but I'm already getting used to that with my Panzer IIs. They just can't take a hit. But yeah, risking this assault is just not worth it on Rommel. It just isn't. Because the little bit of prestige you would get from achieving this does not justify the losses that you take here. So on Rommel you really have to take, especially in the Grand Campaign. I discussed this with Brockett already. In the Grand Campaign there is a lot of situations where it makes no difference for the campaign progression whether you get a decisive victory or a minor victory. But getting the decisive victory can really cause you a lot of losses, and you really need to play that perfectly for it to be worth it. And sometimes, and especially on Rommel, it might not ever be worth it, because of course the costs that you get from having to repair unit are of course exactly the same, but the reward that you get is of course only half of the normal thing. So that makes it sometimes just not worth it. And there's a lot of scenarios in the Grand Campaign where the minor victory conditions are totally doable. And the decisive victory conditions means running into a last enemy stronghold where you can take a huge amount of damage simply because of how strong the enemy presence in that area is. That can be a reinforced position like this, or just a whole bunch of enemy tanks or some other stuff like that. I'll point those scenarios out when we reach them. And in this case, it's just not worth it. If you want to see how it's done, I have a video on my channel on how you achieve a decisive victory here, but on Rommel, it's just not worth it. Absolutely not. So let me save this. We're going for a minor victory, just like Brakada did. Not worth going for the decisive here. That would inflict way too much damage. You would have to do it absolutely perfectly, and I don't have the Air Force to do it. I think I should have brought a Stuka. Then I could have bombed some stuff in this area here. Could have maybe taken out this this anti-tank gun. Then maybe I could have pulled that trick off to push this guy out. But it's tricky. It's tricky to get in here and out and take care of these frontline units. And even if you manage all that, you will take at least one hit from this gun here. Possibly 2 hits, and it's just not worth it on Rommel. I think if one of your tanks gets hit, that's already more prestige than you get for a decisive victory, so just not worth it. And I do not recommend anybody try to do this on Rommel. It's just not worth the trouble. So, there's your marginal victory. So Goose, if you're watching this now or later, will you show Brakada how it's done? I can't show Brakada how anything is done. Both of us are perfectly capable of pulling this off, but not without taking losses. It's about fortresses, about such heavily fortified positions. There's no way you can attack them without taking some losses. It's how it works in real life also. There's no way you can attack in war a fortified position without taking some losses. You can just try to get an optimal position so you can minimize those losses. But attacking a fortified position will always inflict major losses on you. That's why that was usually avoided, if at all possible. Like city fights, like heavily fortified city fights. Something like Stalingrad, that kind of stuff, heavy city fighting, heavy street fighting, always gonna cost you. That's why usually these heavily fortified positions were simply outflanked, people were going around them. Nobody attacked the marginal line, they went around them. It was perfectly possible to defeat the marginal line. They actually did that in a couple of places where they did it anyway, but full assault on it, there was just no need for it. They could have done it, but it wouldn't have been worth it. So in this case, we have them surrounded. Warsaw is surrounded, Modlin is surrounded. We can just wait for them to surrender, which is exactly what happened historically. Nobody attacked this in real history for exactly the same reasons. It's just not worth it. The war's already won. Eventually they're gonna surrender. So why risk the men in trying to storm something that you don't need to take? So with that, this is gonna be Modlin. Again, if you want to see how you take it all, go to my channel. I think in the Epic Let's Play series, there is a video where I take it. But for this playthrough, absolutely not. I think the losses are, except for that one scout, are alright. I'm pretty miffed that my pioneers again took so many losses. But yeah, not much I can do about that. I ran into the bunker visibility range. I thought I was out of vision range, but apparently I wasn't. And that puts me down one very important infantry unit that I kind of also wanted to send down here maybe. or use for a frontal attack to dislodge some of these entrenched units. Without that and missing the Stuka, which I thought I could later deploy, but unfortunately there are no deployment hexes on this map for whatever reason. So that might have been the mod doing some crappy stuff, but yeah, there's no way for me to get a Stuka in here. I was missing my pioneers, and that already makes it basically unwinnable. Well, I won it, but not in decisive victory. That makes the decisive victory basically impossible. So if that hadn't happened, and if I could have deployed my Stuka, maybe this would have been possible. But I really wanted the 2 level bombers up here to make sure I can suppress everything and take minimal losses over here. And then I wanted to switch it out for a Stuka down here if I wanted to attack this. That wasn't possible, and I lost my pioneers. So, and then this damage on the artillery, which means I'm now even down 4 points on artillery firing strength. There's just no way. I can't suppress stuff enough. I can't attack stuff and easily take it out quickly enough. So nope, not possible anymore. The way you would do this is this thing is out of... Is it actually, what firing range does this thing have? Yeah, this thing can only fire 2 hexes. So all this, the train, this thing, and those 2 are all in Stuka range, where the Stuka can't be attacked by anti-aircraft guns. So you would first bomb this tank out of the way. Then you would try with infantry to potentially take this out, hoping that you're not completely wrecked down here. First of all, you would level bomb all this crap and try to either push them out of position with a scout that can retreat again. Which also means I probably would have wanted my Gradschützen more up here. And also force the surrender on this artillery by suppressing it, going in. It cannot retreat except for along the river. If it goes along the river, you can either... You have a very good chance once you attack it here, it will either surrender if you have something here, or it will just retreat over here, which is the more likely option. And then there's a very high likelihood that it's so weak that you can destroy it with an artillery shot. Then you've gotten rid of this thing. Sometimes the AI will, however, buy new stuff here. So you have to do this basically quickly in conjunction with a whole bunch of other stuff. You want to bomb these 2 so far down with level bombers and Stukas that you can dislodge them, that you can basically go in, attack them, and go out again, so they move out of position by retreating, and then you can attack them in that position. Because then if this one moves out, you can, for example, attack it from here. And this position can only be fired at by the train. If you have to move in to attack it, you can basically get fired at by all these 3 things plus this artillery. And it's protected by artillery. So that is not an option. You need to push these guys out of these trenches somehow. Or manage somehow with double Stuka attacks or whatever to bomb them in place into submission, but that's tricky. Because, yeah, in entrenchment situations, you don't do that much damage, and it takes a lot of time. Ideally, you can also do something about this thing in the meantime. Maybe suppress it with artillery fire, and then going in with a Stuka and bomb it. Maybe I could then have gone in with the Gradschützen, hit it, and go out again. But again, you need to basically do several things at the same time and do all of them right, and nothing can go wrong. Otherwise, you're gonna be stranded inside the firing arc of all these fortresses. And you saw what that did to my scout. And you can easily use a unit there. If they had had a couple better rolls, this thing would have been gone. And the same thing would have happened to any infantry or any tank that would have tried this. And if you then have already damaged units, like for example this tank or this tank, there's no chance I could move any of these guys in here and they would have survived that onslaught. So I maybe should have not deployed my 88 and instead deployed one less level bomber and instead deployed 2 more tactical bombers, so I would have had more firepower in the air. Possibly. Also, there's no way I should have allowed my pioneers to be that damaged. But yeah. Definitely I would have needed at least one Stuka or a tactical bomber to get this tankette out of the way, because while this tankette was here, Olivia couldn't act down here. Couldn't do anything. The ideal way is if you can somehow with artillery, and maybe you also need 2 artillery on this other side, so you can slowly move your way in here and start suppressing things here. I think that's actually the better option. Instead of having 2 artillery here and trying to do something from this side, it's probably better if you go all the way around with your entire force and try to do stuff from this side. That might work out better, and just have a couple of guys here that can maybe do something against these 2. Maybe have Olidir in here ready to attack this thing once you have taken care of this one unit. But once you get rid of this anti-tank gun, you can start to potentially do something from the air against this thing. And again, these things have air defenses. You can take a lot of losses on your Stukas, which can be worth it. On normal difficulty levels on Rommel, absolutely not. Your planes are way too expensive. So that's it. That's my 2 cents on this mission. Next time we'll go for a decisive again, of course. I think for the rest of 1939 we'll go for decisive victories again. This one is just not worth it. So until next time, keep your heads up, folks. I'll see you on the next one.